Gran Turismo 7 is an absolute trash fire. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Now I know that little beginning line seemed a little bit intense, but it's not incorrect. The reason why I say that is because of three specific factors that are happening to Gran Turismo 7 right at this moment. The first factor is that the game was recently down for over 24 hours due to a patch causing an issue where people could not get online. Now, of course, you would think a game like that would have an offline mode, but it does not. So people literally paid for $70 on a video game that they cannot even play. Now, of course, the servers are back up and running now, but unfortunately, two things also happened to Gran Turismo that are causing the Metacritic score of the game to drop to about 1.7 on the user score. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, Alex, that reaction is probably something totally overblown. It can't be for anything real, can it? It can't be something like people are paying $70 for a video game and then having to pay a ridiculous amount of money for microtransactions or spend a lot of their time grinding out races. Kazunori Yamauchi said this recently: "In GT7, I would like the users to enjoy lots of cars and races, even without microtransactions. At the same time, the pricing of cars is an important element that conveys their value and rarity. So I do think it's important for it to be linked with the real world prices. I want to make GT7 a game in which you can enjoy a variety of cars, lots of different ways, and if possible, would like to try to avoid a situation where a player must mechanically keep playing certain events over and over again." Now that whole 3-sentence paragraph is pretty insane, because on one hand, you want people to enjoy lots of cars. On the other hand, you want the cars to reflect real world prices. And then you turn back around and you say, well, I want them to experience cars in different ways without having to do the same race over and over again. None of that in those three sentences go together, because what Polyphony did was they reduced the amount of credits you would get per race and then increased the cost of the cars in the game. None of that makes any sense. And clearly what they're trying to do is make you either spend more time doing the same exact race over and over again in order to grind it, to then pay for the cars that they inflated the prices of because they wanted to match the real world price, or, shocker number one, they want you to buy the microtransaction in their cash shop. I mean, it's not like you already paid $70 for the video game, but now they want you to pay even more because, hey, what's more important, your time or the grind, baby? But here's the thing, Metacritic did not take too kindly to this, and I can definitely see why. What we're going to do today, however, is not read fanboy responses to this. We're going to read Metacritic user bombing reviews to this. Oh yeah. Dorfang says predatory microtransactions are predatory. Patch 1.07 is a spit in the face of all longtime Gran Turismo fans. Stiff middle finger right back at you, Sony and Polyphony. Where's Xbox and Forza? To me, this one sounds kind of like an Xbox fanboy doing this. I don't really think somebody's truly pissed like that, but he does make a good case that the fact that this is a spit in the face to GT7 fans across the board. Let's continue. Booze says painfully behind the times, a clear cash grab at every turn. This is what it feels like to be robbed blind. Simply not up to par given the hype and dev time. Cars are woefully out of date. Yeah, I can actually believe that 100%. I've heard that the most recent car is something from 2017, but I could be wrong about that. But even then, just the fact that this is in fact a clear cash grab across every corner at 1.07 on the patch really just goes to show that this game has been trying to become a live service to ink every single penny out of you that it possibly can. And truly, this kind of thing should not be stood for. Steel City 999 says, well, I wish I could even write a review, but I just paid $70 for a bricked game in which I can do absolutely nothing. I haven't been able to try the game because I bought it yesterday and the servers have been down since then. Since when does a single player mode require internet connection? How is it legally possible for a company to, by exact definition, steal from their customers? Complete waste of my hard-earned money and time, and I wish there was some form of legal action I could take. Unfortunately, I'm not quite too sure on the whole legal action thing, but I do have to say this. The fact that single-player games today are requiring online DRM connection is bullshit. There's really no reason for that to occur. If you want to have credits and specific races and have your multiplayer friends join you in those races, I can see that for a fact. But remember, these are consoles. These are locked boxes. These are closed ecosystems. The whole idea of cheating in these consoles shouldn't really be a factor, and that shouldn't be a main point of contention as to why you need always online DRM. You can't use that argument, which many people have actually used already. But then again, that goes to my original point. Why is there always online DRM in a racing game in the first place? You shouldn't have to pay a premium price, which is $10 more than most games are nowadays, because remember, we want to do the whole Sony quality, where people will want to pay those $10 just for have the stupid logo on the box, but yet here you are paying $70 for a game you literally could not play for almost 24 hours plus. Is that quality to you? Checkman86 says, first of all, this game should be free to play with this push towards microtransactions. It was also nice for PD to add the microtransactions after the review of the media, not a real Gran Turismo. Little things to do after you finish the cafe missions. Licenses and everything else take a couple of hours and that's it. No endurance races, no B-spec mode. The economy in this game is trimmed to spend as much money as possible on microtransactions. Really bad payouts after the 1.07 patch. They reduced the payout even further. Honestly, it could be a free-to-play title, but I paid 70 euros for this nonsense. 25 years ago, I played my very first GT. This is the last one. Cherry on top, if you have no internet connection or they are doing updates, the game is useless. You can drive arcade with a handful of cars for no money at all. Everything else is turned off. This game is fundamentally broken. Don't buy it, but rather wait for a sale when it costs around 10 euro. Honestly, I can understand Checkman's frustrations, especially because having to pay 70 euro, which is about 78 US dollars, for a game to actually sit there and waste your time, which honestly, from what I'm seeing on my own end, should be in fact a free-to-play title. There's really no reason why a $70 game should have microtransactions in the first place. And on top of that, why a game that is set like this to be a racing game to be always online? Utherson L says, say hello to another game that ruined its economy just after the launch/review window for the sake of microtransactions. I used to love the series. It did some questionable choices for the sake of money as far back as GT5, selling single-use paints as DLC for instance, but it was never egregious. Certainly nothing like today's game can get. GT7, however, already started out as mean with its rewards, chiefly the roulette spins that just happen to give you the lowest reward 90% of the time. With the latest patch, they turned the game into a total grind fest that also tries to tug on your FOMO strings. For example, the system of innovations, brief windows to buy expensive cars you most likely can't afford unless you like to buy some in-game currency. Nudge, nudge. I badly regret buying this game. I'd love a refund, but after 2 weeks of playing daily, I doubt I'd get it. PSN is notorious for being stingy with those at the best of times. And honestly, it just doesn't end here. It continues over and over. The same types of comments, people being clearly upset at the fact that patch 1.07, Polyphony Digital, and even Sony have done something so incredibly predatory for this game that could have been an absolute banger. Now here's the thing in my mind. The last time I played a Gran Turismo game was Gran Turismo 2 on the PS1. That's how old I am. Unfortunately, Polyphony Digital has done something they shouldn't have done in the first place, causing a top-tier racing simulator to not only cost $70, but not function when it's offline, and also increase the grind and have a really confusing statement as to why they want that grind to be there in the first place. None of that makes any sense from what they've stated. They want people to have more cars, but then they want to lower the amount of currency you get when you race, so that way they reduce the fact that you have to continually race those races to get more cars. But then if they reduce the credit reward, you have to then continually race those races more in order to get those rewards. What they truly mean, though, is they want you to spend more money on top of the $70. You see, you can't trust game companies. You just can't. And sitting here expecting a game company to charge you $10 more in lieu of what you think they're going to do, which is remove microtransactions, is a stupid idea, because companies make billions of dollars in microtransactions every year alone. So that $10 more really is just going to do nothing but pad the lines of pockets of publishers that you think they're going to do something positive with, but then do nothing at all but screw you in the end. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think about GT7 in the comment section down below. Are you playing it? Are you enjoying it? Are you someone who is okay with the grind? Are you someone who is not okay? I want to know your thoughts, your feedback, and your ideas. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you next time.